سلام بچه‌ها، چطورید؟ امیدوارم که حال دل همگی خوب باشه. در خدمتتون هستم که بحث امروزمون رو پی بگیریم. تا ویدیو رد نکردید ما رو سابسکرایب بکنید، ما رو فالو داشته باشید و باعث دلگرمی ما باشید. مرسی که هستید. بریم سراغ بحث امروزمون.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're heading somewhere truly epic. Alaska. We've got this fascinating documentary plus some extra research, and we're going to explore, well, the incredible story of survival up there. Our mission, really, is to try and grasp that balance, the stunning beauty and the sheer brutality of Alaska, and maybe understand what survival even means when the whole world, their ancient world, is changing so incredibly fast.
It's a huge question. Alaska.
Hmm.
They call it the last frontier for a reason.
What's
It's
that?
massive, right? The largest U.S. state, over 1.7 million square kilometers. A kingdom of hunters, as the source puts it. You think mountains, snow, Denali being the biggest peak in North America, and these enormous glaciers literally carving out history as they move. Rivers of ice.
But it's not just ice, is it? That's what's so striking. There's fire under there, too. The Aleutian Islands, those dormant volcanoes. It reminds you Alaska was like forged by these massive opposing forces. Ice and fire.
Exactly. And that duality runs through everything. The ecosystems are incredibly varied. You've got misty taiga forests, then barren tundra way up near the Arctic Circle, lush marshes in the Yukon Delta, freezing coastlines. Each one is its own world. Tough worlds.
So you can get lost in the beauty, maybe see the aurora lighting up the sky, absolutely breathtaking. But the documentary really drives home this underlying truth. Every single creature is locked in this relentless fight just to stay alive.
And the very foundation they rely on, the ice, was literally melting layer by layer, year after year. Those solid sheets, they're breaking up, becoming these fragile fragments.
So what happens then when the ground beneath your feet or flippers just disappears?
Well, that's where you see the struggle of animals like the walrus so clearly. They are perfectly adapted. I mean, thick blubber, eyes great in low light, whiskers so sensitive they can feel tiny movements underwater. They dive hundreds of meters deep, built for the cold.
But none of that matters, does it? Not when they're home, their breeding ground. The actual ice is vanishing because it's getting warmer, winters are shorter.
Exactly. It's heartbreaking. The source paints this picture. A mother seal and her pup, barely 2 weeks old. They're on this thin piece of ice. It's their only safe spot. And then killer whales.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they're smart. They don't just charge in. They watch, they wait, they work together. Then one orca just slams into the ice floe from below, creates these waves, shatters the ice.
And the pup.
The pup is lost. The source describes the mother's cries, this red streak of blood fading in the cold water. It's brutal.
A really harsh reminder.
It shows how perfect adaptations become vulnerabilities when the basic rules change, The ice should be there. There's just no margin for error, especially for the young ones. Ice melts, shelter vanishes, predators move in. Life is just as fragile as that ice.
So if we move inland, away from the coast, Alaska changes again, right? We get into the tundra, the permafrost.
Right. As winter loosens its grip, you start seeing patches of snow melting, moss, some new grass, and that signals the start of something incredible.
The caribou migration. Thousands of them. The documentary calls it a vibrant flow, like a river of flesh and blood moving silently. It's not chaotic, just this steady, determined movement, driven by pure instinct, right?
Pure instinct. Their bodies are amazing examples of adaptation, too. That double-layer fur, soft underneath for warmth, but the outer hairs are hollow. Helps them float if they need to cross rivers, and it's great wind protection.
And the hooves?
Yeah, wide hooves, stop them sinking in snow or mud, but they can also be weapons. And what's really unique is both the males and females grow antlers every year. A symbol of their endurance, I guess.
This huge journey they take, hundreds of kilometers from the forests up to the northern breeding grounds. It's just fundamental to their existence.
An ancient call, definitely. But it's a dangerous journey.
Yeah, the cold's one thing, but then there are the predators. The gray wolf.
Another relentless hunter. And the film shows their efficiency. It's striking. They show a young caribou, one that didn't make it, surrounded by wolves on the icy ground. And the feeding is described as silent, clean, precise. The alpha takes the first bite, then lets the females and young feed.
But always watchful, right? Even while eating.
Absolutely. You can't afford carelessness out there, but it's not cruelty. It's framed as this relentless cycle. That loss for the caribou sustains the whole wolf pack, and even the leftovers feed, crows, foxes, insects. Nothing is wasted. It's a tough economy, but efficient.
And the rest of the herd? They just pause and then keep going.
That's what the source says. They pause for a few minutes, then continue. No cries, no looking back. It's like loss is just woven into their existence. Survival means pushing forward, absolute determination, north towards the spring grass.
Incredible resilience. Now, and shifting again to maybe the most ancient-looking creatures out there, the musk oxen.
Ah, yes, the musk oxen. True survivors from the Ice Age, really. They stick to those perpetually frozen areas. Huge animals, over 360 kilograms. And that coat, thick, double-layered. They can handle temperatures down to -50°C. Just incredible.
Leaving symbols of strength, really.
Totally. They graze in herds, and then they have that amazing defensive tactic. Against wolves or bears, they don't run. They form that circle, right?
Yeah.
Young ones in the middle, adults facing out with those curved horns. It's worked for thousands of years.
So they seem almost invincible against predators. But what about nature itself? Can anything withstand Alaska's raw power when it really unleashes?
That's the thing. Sometimes nature is the most brutal enemy, as the documentary puts it. Unpredictable, ruthless. And there's this incident earlier this year, a massive snowstorm. It actually wiped out an entire herd of musk oxen, 52 of them. It really shocked the scientific community.
52! Wow, how did that even happen?
Well, the report mentioned wind speeds hitting like 130 to 160 kilometers per hour, a total blizzard. It covered this frozen lake in such thick ice that when experts got there, all they could see were horns and patches of black fur sticking out of the snow.
Oh, that's grim.
Yeah. A biologist, Marcy Johnson, described realizing it was the entire herd, just buried. And it was a huge blow for conservation because, there aren't that many musk oxen to begin with, and we still don't know a ton about them scientifically.
So losing that many in one go
It just shows.
shows that even these incredibly tough ancient creatures aren't safe from these increasingly extreme weather events. Apparently, they got trapped by a high tide right when the storm hit, couldn't escape, froze solid incredibly quickly. They didn't even know the full extent until May when the ice melted.
And this isn't the first time something like this has happened with sudden freezing, is it? No, sadly not. The sources mentioned similar events. 150 narwhals trapped by sea ice, 170 belugas, suffocated because of sudden cold snaps. It just hammers home the point. Even animals that seem like symbols of ancient resilience, they can't always withstand these violent climate shifts. Nobody is truly safe.
And even without freak storms, the day-to-day threats are still there, even for the musk oxen.
Right. The documentary shows the herd marching on, slow and steady, sun setting, casting this cold light. But then the wind shifts, and it carries the scent of predators. White wolves this time. Different from the gray ones.
How so?
More adapted to the high Arctic. They move like ghosts through the snow. Described as having pale eyes. Cold, intelligent, strategic, patient.
And they're tracking the herd.
Exactly. And there's this moment. One little cub, the smallest one, it only just survived its first winter. It falls behind just a few steps. His legs can't quite keep up. And that hesitation.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Another loss. And again, the herd doesn't panic or flee. They stand there for a moment. Snow, wind, blood. Then they move on. It's like loss is just etched into their DNA from the Ice Age. They just know they have to keep going.
Such stark survival stories. And it's not just the big, iconic animals like musk oxen or caribou, is it? This impacts everything.
Absolutely everything. Think about the Arctic foxes. You see them tracking lemmings. Their fur changes color with the seasons, white in winter, grayish in summer. Perfect camouflage. But that just highlights how they, too, rely on predictable cycles that are now, well, less predictable.
And the snowy owls.
Skilled hunters, those golden eyes. They seem like masters of the tundra night. But now they're having to fly further, hunt longer. Their prey is becoming scarcer, harder to find.
And even the giants down south, the Kodiak bears.
Even them. They're huge, bigger than grizzlies. But they're emerging from their dens earlier. Spring comes sooner. Problem is, the salmon they depend on, their main food source after hibernation, haven't returned up the rivers yet. The timing is off.
So they're hungry.
Exactly. Which leads to more competition, more conflict, even among themselves.
It really paints a picture of interconnectedness, doesn't it? Every single creature is tied into these seasonal rhythms, the ice, the timing.
Precisely. A timing established over thousands, millions of years.
But Alaska itself is changing so fast. What are the numbers on that?
The data is pretty stark. Alaska's average temperature has gone up by nearly 3 degrees Celsius in the last 50 years. That's faster warming than anywhere else in the U.S.
3 degrees Celsius. That sounds like a massive shift for an entire ecosystem.
It is. And the consequences are everywhere. Ice melting earlier, winters getting shorter, more wildfires, the permafrost thawing. It's not just the physical landscape changing. The entire natural rhythm of life, that ancient clockwork, is being thrown off course.
Wow. What an intense journey through Alaska's wild heart we've taken today. We've really seen that incredible resilience, the amazing ways these animals are adapted, and yes, the staggering beauty of the place.
Definitely. But we've also seen the flip side, haven't we? The immense challenge they face, these ancient instincts, these life strategies honed over millennia. How do they cope when the fundamental rules of their world are being rewritten so quickly? What does survival even look like then? And maybe, what can we learn from these, warriors of the Ice Age about resilience in our own unpredictable world?
امیدوارم که استفاده کرده باشید. در کامنت ها به همون بگید نظراتتون رو، پیشنهادتون رو، و اینکه حتما ما رو سابسکرایب بکنید. مراقب خودتون و خوبیاتون باشید. روز و روزگار به کامتون خوش و خدا نگهدار همگی.